Alrighty everyone, so right now we are in the countdown phase for the global Dokkan campaign, and with it we've gotten a bunch of cool stuff, including 3 banners right here which are all up and running. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about these 3 banners, talk about what do they have to offer, how good are they, how bad are they, should you summon, all the important details that you need to know, especially as we get ready for the official beginning of the global Dokkan campaign, which I'm so excited to see happen in real time. I can't wait for it, but hopefully you guys will enjoy the vid. If you do, show our support down below, comment down below your thoughts, of course, let us know what you think. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So the first one that I want to talk about here is this Radiant Summer Dokkan Fest banner. Now this one is like the quote-unquote bog standard one of all 3, but still there are some important things to note that make this unique compared to previous Dokkan Fest banners. The first thing is this can only be done for 2 times only, and you can do a multi-summon for 25 Dragon Stones each time. You know, each multi will give you 5 characters, one of which is a guaranteed SSR. So you can spend up to 50 Dragon Stones on this version of the banner, and that's pretty much it. Very straightforward for 10 characters, 2 of which at minimum guaranteed SSRs. Not featured SSRs, but just SSRs. So pretty simple in that sense. Now, when it comes to the featured SSR list, right? The featured SSRs are these 7 right down here: Diamond Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Lord Slug, Dirty Fireworks Vegeta, Dokkan Fest in Broly from the Worldwide Celebration campaign, Physical Super Saiyan Trio, Tech UI, and 2024 Saiyan Day Big Bang Attack Vegeta. So those are the 7 featured SSRs. This banner, by the way, it will end on July 6th. So once this banner ends, right after that is when the official beginning should take place for the global Dokkan campaign. So this is basically strictly a countdown banner. Now, with all that information being said, I will say right now, none of these characters, and I love Tech UI, I love Physical Super Saiyan Trio, I love Broly, I love Lord Slug, none of these characters though are good enough at this point in time to justify any player, new player, old player, whatever, going for this banner strictly for the sake of pulling a character they don't have, because they think they're good. None of these characters are that good in that sense of the gameplay. Like, none of them are that dominant to say they're great value. Now, that being said, if you don't have some of these characters, you may be enticed to pull for them. I completely understand that, and some of these characters still have some decent value. Lord Slug, if you have the good demonic power characters, he can have some value. Tech UI, his domain is making him still valuable to this day because his domain is the only one of its kind to re-enable dodge when dodge is cancelled. And of course, you have a character like Physical Super Saiyan Trio who could provide a good amount of support for events, especially like Million Arena. So, some of these characters, they have good value, of course, but at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, this is not a banner that has a great plethora of, special kind of Dokkan Fest characters that you would want to go after. So I do just want to kind of emphasize that because I feel like that's the most important thing to understand. And also, realistically, if you have the good teams for a lot of these characters, odds are you probably also have the characters themselves, because these characters have rerun on different banners before. So, all those things are important to note. They're worth kind of paying attention to. But yeah, overall, I would say when it comes to this banner, if you should summon on it or not, the answer for that is a resounding no. I feel that this is a de facto bait banner. I think a lot of people agree with that. A lot of people have said it before as well, but this is definitely one of those banners that's meant to take your Dragon Stones as we get ready to celebrate the global Dokkan campaign, which is most likely going to have banners of much better value and quality. So definitely skip on this one if you can do that. I understand some people may want to summon for the sake of fun. If you want to do it because it will make you enjoy the game, okay, that's fine then. But other than that, for the sake of practicality, it is probably wiser, to say the least, to skip this banner and save for the better stuff down the line. Now, besides this, we also have the special version of this whole kind of banner. Now, this one is different for several different reasons. For one, you have to do a multi that costs you 100 Dragon Stones to get you 20 characters. And only on the 20th character will you get a character who has done all the full Dokkan Awakening. So basically, in this 20 character multi-summon, the final character will be one of these characters and they will get, full awakening. So if you get Tech UI Goku, he'll be a LR. Same thing with the Physical Super Saiyan Trio. Same thing with Broly. If you get Vegeta, he'll be already fully awakened into a TUR. Same thing with Slug. So the awakenings will be there only for the 20th character. Now, if your first character or your second character happens to be, like Tech UI Goku or Physical Super Saiyan Trio, they will only be an SSR. They will not end up being an LR. So that's important to note right there. That's one kind of gimmicky kind of thing right there. Also, by the way, this banner will end at the same time as the other kind of Radiant Summer banner. So same timing right there. The featured SSRs are the same, but this is the most important thing right here. When you do a multi, which again costs 100 Dragon Stones, you'll get a special reward ticket right here, which you can exchange for character exclusive skill orbs. Now, we already knew we were going to be getting skill orbs for these characters, during the day of download, but this is, in my opinion, the most scummiest thing the Dokkan has done. This is for sure the scummiest thing Dokkan has done in Dokkan 2025, maybe even longer than that. But really, the thing about this is, you know, with this special kind of reward ticket, you go to the Baba shop, you see right here, you can go into the special section right here and exchange for a set of skill orbs. Now each set is for one of the specific characters. We go right here into the leaks and everything, you can see what the skill orbs can do. If you get, for example, you know, Tech UI Goku, let's just use him as an example right here. If I were to pull Tech UI Goku and I have like the ticket and everything, I have to make sure to get the skill orbs for this character and this character only. If by mistake, you know, you pull Tech UI Goku, but you accidentally buy skill orbs for, you know, Dirty Fireworks Vegeta, these orbs cannot go to Tech UI Goku. So, you know, they're character specific. You have to be careful for one, like who you get the ticket for and all this stuff. So, you know, if you summon on the banner, some people already did their summons and everything and you got the ticket, make sure to get the right skill orbs. For me, you know, I have Tech UI Goku, I have Broly, I have Super Saiyan True, I have Slug. I could benefit from orbs for all of them. But at the same time, you have to be careful about, like, you know, getting the right one. Because, like, I don't have Vegeta. If I don't pull Vegeta, I still get his orbs. Those orbs are useless to me until I get him. So those are important things to consider, obviously. But still, you know, these skill orbs, the thing about them is the skill orbs are still good in value. You know, they boost defense, dodge chance, you know, additionals built in stuff, you know, defensive boost and everything. These are still good skill orbs. They are, you know, able to provide a lot of potential. But overall, I mean, this is very scummy. This is like straight up evil in my opinion, and for me and for a lot of people, I would say do not summon on this banner either, even for the sake of the skill orbs, because of a couple of reasons. One is, you know, again, these characters themselves are not good enough necessarily to justify it. Even with their skill orbs, it's hard to say that they will be suddenly all of a sudden really good. But besides that, the other thing is, and this is kind of like a preachy kind of thing right here, I don't want to promote this type of banner design. I find it hard to believe they're going to do this all the time, but still, I would really be upset if all of a sudden this became the norm where you had special banners every 2-3 months that gave you special exclusive skill orbs for these different characters. Like, I just think it would be completely ridiculous. So, you know, for me, my money's worth and everything. Granted, I'm free to play, but still, I don't plan to summon on this banner. I don't think anyone should summon on this banner for the same reason people should not be summoning on this other version of it right here. It's just better to save for the Global Dokkan campaign, because most likely there is a very good chance that those banners will have a bunch more in terms of options for featured SSRs, but also there is a very good chance they may also feature the 10th anniversary Dokkan Fest LRs and all those LRs. So in that case, I would rather pull those characters as opposed to pulling a copy of Lord Slug or Broly or Tech UI. Like, I'm just going to say it for what it is. So that's these two banners right here. This is the last one right here. Now, this one is for sure the best of the three. Like, in terms of value, in terms of what it has to offer for what it is the best one of the three. Now, it is a friend summon banner, but basically they updated it to change how it works. So now it's for the Global Dokkan campaign. All the characters, they're rare SR, SSR rarity. But you see right here, you can get one featured character or a Hercule statue guaranteed per multi-summon. Now, unfortunately, with these multis, most likely you're going to have to do a lot of selling characters because all the rares and SRs, they're not going to be worth, they're not going to have value for you. But if you look at the Hercule statues, they're good for Zenny. And if you look at the featured characters, you got Grand Kais, you got Elder Kai, you got Sleepy Kai, and you got the 3 free-to-play LRs. Now, the LRs are cool and all, but if you pull these Elder Kais, if you pull the Grand Kais and everything, that's going to have such insane value for you as a player, because of course, you know, that means you can have an easier time ranking up and boosting the super attack level, which is such an important thing. Obviously, some characters you can do free-to-play farming options like Tien or Goku's to get the built-in like super attack level, but some other characters that's not an option, right? Like, for example, you know, any sort of like Goku and Vegeta tag unit or something, you can't necessarily just easily upgrade their super attack level. So in those situations, that is when you would want these sorts of Kais on your disposal. So, you know, there's other things to consider like that to use to your advantage. Honestly, this banner is definitely a banner that you should be spending every single amount of friend points that you have on this banner. Like, there's no excuse not to. This banner will end on August 11th, so most likely this is going to be going through the entirety of the Global Dokkan campaign, and it will end when the actual Global Dokkan campaign ends as well. So, you know, obviously we have to enjoy the campaign for the rest of the month of July and everything, but yeah, I mean, this one for sure, like, it does not boast as crazy good characters as the other ones. Let's not get twisted. Like, obviously, you know, these 7 featured SSRs completely dunk on, you know, the Great Saiyaman duo, on Hercule and Boo. I believe that's Hercule and Boo if I remember right, and you know, the 17 and 18. However, the difference between it is you're not spending Dragon Stones on this banner. You're spending Dragon Stones on that banner, which are better used for the actual banners in the Global Dokkan campaign. Here, you're only using friend points. So, like, friend points, there's no other reason to use them other than this. Might as well use it when you have this right here. So, that's just my take on that, of course. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, because again, we already talked about the banners. We pretty much covered all we need to cover. Again, if I have to give my like brief synopsis, you know, these banners are cool and all, but at the same time, they're just not good enough to summon for. I would say no one should summon on this banner or this one especially. You definitely should summon on this one though. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below about these banners, about how they look, the quality of them and everything. If you guys have summoned for them, let me know in the comments down below as well. If you guys enjoyed the vid though, because we are going to wrap up the video right now, show your support, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. We are the road to 1K subs, of course. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed, and I will see you all in the next one.